good player. But dear Lord, I didn't expect this. Can anyone get this guy out? A .339 average with 16 home runs and 47 RBIs. An OPS of over 1,100. He went 3 for 4 and hit another bomb yesterday. The Pirates lineup scored 14 runs yesterday at home, albeit against Antonio Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies. They scored 8 runs off of him. But still impressive. Now, I understand the start that both Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich, who's been in and out because he's been hurting, I think he has back spasms, have gotten off to. And Bellinger appears to be the clear favorite. But Josh Bell should not be too far behind at the moment. Not only has he been playing really well, but he's keeping a team that I expected to finish last in the NL Central relevant. The Pirates are 3 games above 500, and it's because of Josh Bell. I promised I'd get to the Astros, so here we go. See, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to try to bring this up weekly until this guy gets called up. Yordan Alvarez needs to get that call. His bat clearly belongs in the major leagues. He's putting up video game numbers. This is going to be a classic, the rich continue to get richer type of situation for this Houston team that just continues to dominate. Whether it's at the plate, in the starting rotation, or in the bullpen. I mentioned Ryan Presley, who has been larger than life so far this year. Their entire bullpen has been so great that they've been able to hide the fact that Chris Devenski, who before this year was one of their best relief pitchers, may be their best relief pitcher, has an ERA currently of nearly 5.5. They have Hector Rondon, Roberto Ozuna, Will Harris, have all been lights out. But anyway, to be able to add 2 of the top hitting prospects in all of baseball, in Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker mid-season, now this is what I would just do it. I mean, for the Astros, mid-season, call them both up. If you're nervous about Alvarez playing the outfield and, if his defense isn't quite polished enough, put him as a DH. That's the beauty of the DH in the American League. The designated hitter. He doesn't necessarily have to play the field. No, if you want him to develop his game in the field, I mean, that is also, you can play him in the outfield here and there, see how he does. And if anything, if he, throughout the season, he shows that his defense is a little bit lacking, work on it in the offseason. He could become a left fielder. And that's why they have George Springer and Kyle Tucker. George Springer is going to play center field. Kyle Tucker is going to play the other outfield spot. And then you have Josh Reddick. The Astros have other options. They just can't allow Tyler White and Tony Kemp to play every day, because they clearly don't belong in that lineup. To have their DH have one home run this season and hitting about, with 220, 230, that's not very Astros-like. I mean, they already have their great core of young players. George Springer, who isn't quite, he's not that young, but he's not old. You got Alex Bregman, who's probably going to go, shoot for 40 home runs this year. He already has 15. He hit 31 a year ago. He's just getting better. You got Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa. They still need a couple. To me, they still need the DH and an outfield spot. There you go. Two, young potential stars. It's the rich getting richer. You can fill every spot with a star. With a potential star. They already launched you out of that place anyway. Launch home runs. Obviously with proven aces like Justin Verlander, who's arguably the best starting pitcher of this generation, and Garrett Cole, who's top 5, arguably top 5, solidly top 10 in this league. Having both of them in one rotation is ridiculous, by the way. When you have a lineup and a bullpen like that, to have two aces there too. Usually there are holes you can poke at on every great team. But this is something special. They won the World Series 2 seasons ago. And I would not be surprised in the least. If they start working on a dynasty. Because if Tucker and Alvarez, or one of them, even one of them becomes a star, and the other one becomes just another solid, good player, there you go. That just adds another power batter to put right into the middle of that lineup. Staying around that same series, because, the White Sox and Astros played against each other. Eloy Jimenez was taken off the IL for the White Sox the other day. And after a couple of rough nights against Brad Peacock and Justin Verlander, Jimenez unloaded on a Garrett Cole fastball. Boy, did Eloy need that. He sent it to the moon in center field. And then hit another home run later on in the game. And then last night, he hit a 112 mile per hour laser out of the park. 112 mile an hour laser. If you haven't seen it yet, go look it up. Everyone knew that was gone. The power that this young outfielder has is rare. And I know a lot of people feel differently about him right now than they did when he was ready to make his big league debut. A little advice: don't. When this kid hits his stride and he finds it, He has the kind of power to carry a ball club. He can hit to all fields, which is impressive. You know, he can hit a ball to right center. I mean, yeah, he can hit a ball to right center. You know, he can hit a home run to right center field. He can hit a home run to dead center field. He can hit a bomb anywhere. He has that kind of power. It's amazing what's happened to baseball. It kind of puzzles me that more, casual sports fans aren't into the game as into the game today. The talent level is crazy. It's just getting more ridiculous as we continue. Big power hitters are everywhere. So many young, talented players, such as Jimenez, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., who's starting to come around, Pete Alonso, Austin Riley, who just continues to mash ever since he came up. You know, obviously, Ronald Acuna Jr., Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger. The list goes on and on and on. Hopefully, Yordan Alvarez can be added to this list soon enough. He's going to join a great situation. You know, everybody talks about wanting to see power, right? Runs scored. There's power pitching, power hitting, speed, big, powerful athletes. That's what everybody wants to see, right? You want to see triples and home runs and strikeouts and high fastballs. That's what baseball's offering right now. Go check it out. Any casual fan that says they're not into baseball, check it out. It's some exciting stuff. Oh, by the way, I think the Yankees have officially renamed Camden Yards the home of the New York Yankees. I don't think I've ever seen a start like this by one team against another particular team. Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez have just demolished the hapless, minor league-esque Orioles. The Yankees as a whole went deep 13 times in this series alone. They've hit a total of 35 home runs in their 12 games against Baltimore. Think about that for a second. And think about this. Torres and Sanchez have combined for 19 of those home runs. Two guys hitting 19 home runs against one team in 2 months. I get that it's Baltimore and they have no pitching staff at all whatsoever. But, my God, that's just remarkable. Oh, and by the way, Aaron Boone deserves a boatload of credit for what he's done with this Yankees team. They very easily could have mailed it in. But instead, they're at the top of the AL East. 32-17. I mean, again, can you believe that? The Minnesota Twins just continue to roll. 16 more runs yesterday in LA against the Angels. 8 home runs. They tied a franchise record for home runs in a game. Miguel Sano is back. He hit 2 of them.